So then, as you learn more and more and more, you start hearing interesting things. Yes, please. In interesting things, God created the Jewish people before the Torah and before the world. And he asked the Jewish souls, he says that he consulted with the Jewish people before he made the world. So the souls of the Jews was already here before anything. So according to Rabbi Nachman, the person who is the convert was always a Jew. But he went to a place that he wasn't supposed to be. So it wasn't that he wasn't Jewish and he became Jewish. It wasn't that he wasn't Jewish before and he said, oh, I want the Torah. Rabbi Nachman says something very deeper. He says, the energy that the neshama, the soul of that original Jew got lost and went to someplace else. It was always a Jew. He just had to come back a different way.
So are you saying that all people were Jewish? Did I miss?
No, he's just saying that the convert is not really a convert. Convert was always a Jew, but the energy of the soul was someplace else.
Okay.
It ended up in the non-Jewish place. The soul was there.
Why did that soul end up there?
Why?
Why did that soul?
Oh, he explains.
Because a lot of Jews came to my dad's restaurant, my grandfather's restaurant, Chinese restaurant. So it's true. Both my grandparents, this is why I believe this. My grandparents had Chinese, they'd say all our customers are Jewish.
Say it again.
A lot of the customers are Jewish. They came to my grandfather's restaurant.
Which wasn't kosher.
North of Toronto.
And his father never stops reminding him of it.
And I think that, and so...
Like the famous joke, Jews and Chinese...
We're talking about this, so by me converting and keeping kosher, makes up for all the folks that are born Jewish, God don't get mad. That's what I got from what you're saying.
Yeah, we're just starting. You're going to say a lot more.
But so you're saying that there were some people who were not Jewish and some people who were Jewish?
Yeah, that's always the case.
I see.
But the Jewish souls...
I have a theory that all people are Jewish. It's just that some people don't know it yet.
That's interesting.
I don't currently abide by that theory, but I have abided by that at some times.
All right, that's cool.
What the theory that a certain number of neshama, like Jewish neshamas, have to be in this world for Mashiach to come? And the fact is some people don't get married and have kids, or get married and don't have kids, or get married and have a few kids. So converts have to kind of make up the difference.
Okay. Let's go on. It's going to get more and more interesting. Rabbi Nachman explains in the next lesson why that soul that was originally Jewish ended up in a non-Jewish place.
Okay.
So I'm going to say it after the lesson.
Let's get into
It's mind-blowing. And we're in no rush. Rabbi Naftali, unfortunately, will not be here tonight. He'll be here next week. Next week we'll have Rabbi Naor, who will speak about can Lilith and Miriam reside in the same body.
But why Lilith and Miriam? We don't usually
It's a Torah given by the Chidah. It's a Kabbalah from the Chidah.
Okay.
It's not made up. It's just coming attractions. Sorry. We'll be on video. Okay, so we're on page 2. Okay, who wants to say the top of 41? Myra.
Okay.
Hi, Myra.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Maria.
Say a little loud for the...
Yeah, okay. Yet, how is it possible to win converts when they are so very distant from the holiness of Israel? And what is it that prompts them to even think of converting?
See, I had a question about this when I was reading this. I'm saying, how am I going to say publicly that this convert is so very far from the holiness of Israel? I said to myself, how can you say that about people? Yeah. Right? Because there are people that are non-Jewish that are holy. So yes. why would that be? I know I'm going to ask. I said someone's going to ask me this question. I have to have an answer.
I have a problem with the whole question itself.
Yes, sir.
How is it possible to win converts? We're not in the business of conversion.
Correct. That's also a whole separate issue.
How is it possible? I mean, I don't think that's a non-entity.
Well, there is a Gemara.
Perhaps win is not the
translation.
win in Hebrew. Perhaps win is translation.
It's interesting.
What does lasot mean?
To make.
It doesn't say to win here, so it is deceiving.
It's interesting because you mentioned that, because the Hebrew and the English here get a little in trouble. And I'm glad you mentioned that. But it does say in the Gemara, in the Talmud, that the reason why the Jews went into exile was to get the converts, was to get the sparks. We don't proselytize. In the Gemara.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't proselytize. But that it does say it in the Gemara that the sparks are there. We have to get the
It's
sparks.
not for the Jews, then it was assimilated. It says it about Gerim.
It says it about Gerim.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
So 1 second. You want to go to the footnote, 71. So I have an interesting take that I always had on my own. It says in the Torah, remember the convert. It says remember the convert, remember the convert, remember the convert, like 6-7 times convert, convert, convert. Convert is not a convert. Convert's a Jew. Why are you saying remember the convert? The ger is not a ger. He's a Jew. It's the exact same. Why does it say it? I was racking my brain.
Converts, they appear to me as being seeds.
As
Seeds.
seeds.
Seeds of
No, but a
the
convert.
Jewish neshama,
Right.
and they're not wind. They have to be in an environment where they actually blossom.
Yeah, he's gonna speak about it.
Could also be, he's saying converts so people know he's talking about the Jews who are converts.
How do we say stranger?
It's just a ger.
Is Ger is also
Yeah.
stranger,
Yeah,
right?
Czar, czar.
Yeah. So and we're strangers also, no?
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. But the question is that I had, why are you calling Gerim? Why are you calling Jews Gerim? This person is a Jew now.
Because we didn't have that.
Why you keep
holiness
calling that?
yet.
Because so they
we
know
didn't have
that
that
they're talking
level when
about
we were in
converts.
Mitzrayim. We transformed.
Right, that's separate. I'm saying, but in the Torah, it always says, remember the
I'm
ger.
not sure.
We look
I'm
at
not
it
sure.
as Abraham as the first gear.
Right.
Sometimes
So
we
he-
put gear.
So can he be a Ger and a Jew at the same time?
He's a Jew. He's not a ger. He's a Jew.
But is he? But
Certain things he can't do. There's one or two things that he can't do that a regular Jew can, but a regular Jew can't do 50 or 60 other things that a Kohen or a Levi can.
But
Everybody.
it's interesting that in the Gemara, sometimes the gear has the same qualities as a Kohen.
Yes. It says that a unlearned, a mamzer, that is a learned mamzer is higher than a Kohen Gadol, a high priest. It's because it's more respected.
I
So
think because they've made extra effort to come into the religion.
Right.
Because they've made an extra effort to learn. It's like the Baal Tshuva is
Right,
considered
definitely.
better than someone who's from birth.
right.
Because once you come back, you've gone through some kind of negativity or some kind of challenge
Right.
in order to come back in. So it's more of an effort. You've made more of an effort. You've worked harder to get there.
Yeah, the way I just saw it is the reason why God always says, ger, 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 is that to God, this person is a Jew. But there are people that say, oh, he's a ger. He's not a Jew. So God is saying, he's a Jew. That's how I see it. In other words, a ger is a Jew. He's not a ger anymore, he's a Jew. That's the way I saw it. God is just reminding people, if you're going to call this guy a ger, you're making a mistake because he's equal to you. That's why God always has to remind certain people, this is a Jew, it's exactly like you. It's the same mitzvot, the same everything. That's the way I saw it.
But I think if you're a Ger and it's a convert, okay, if you're talking, because we see a few different words for Ger now, a few different definitions. Am I right? So a Ger is a convert. So a Ger is someone who has become a Jew.
Not necessarily. He was, according to the strict halachic way of seeing it, yes, but not according to the Kabbalah.
Okay, so if I'm saying that a Ger is a Jew,
Right.
a Ger has become a Jew.
No, he was always a Jew. It was just revealed that he was a Jew.
So
Called
he's
a ger
become,
shemit ge'er, not a goy
Huh?
shemit
Interesting.
ge'er.
Interesting.
say,
A ger is called a ger shemit ge'er,
What does that
not
mean?
a ger who becomes a convert who becomes a convert. You don't refer to a convert as a goy who becomes a convert.
Interesting.
he's a Ger who
That's heavy
becomes a
stuff.
Ger.
Yes.
A Ger
It was
who
always a
becomes
ger to begin with.
He's always a Ger.
Yeah.
So, but my point is, I think that being
Yeah,
a
we're going to
Ger
get there.
and being a Jew are two things that you can be at the same time.
Okay. Okay, 71. You want to read the
71, shall I
footnote?
keep going?
Yes.
The Jewish soul emanates from the very highest source of creation. The hitpa'arut,
the beauty.
the beauty, okay, which God takes in that soul, no matter how low it may have descended through foolishness and shameful acts, is everlasting. That's the beauty, it's everlasting. In the case of converts, however, this connection to God did not exist. This source is not from the holiness of the Jewish nation. How can he be drawn to holiness so that through him the blemish of the altar, the idolatry, can be rectified?
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
In the next lesson, Rabbi Nachman explains that the energy was always Jewish, the soul was always Jewish, but it got swallowed up by the non-Jewish world. And once it gets swallowed up by the non-Jewish world, it starts to use it as its source. So that's where it gets lost. But in this lesson, he's going to explain how that spark wakes up the person, and then it runs back to the source. So he's saying, so that's why it sounds here like it's a little bit off. Okay, keep going.
Okay. There is a general rule in Rebbe Nachman's teachings. Wherever the Rebbe speaks about converts, he is also speaking about repentant Jews. Bal Tshuva, that's what I was saying. Rabbi Eliyahu Chaim Rosen.
He was a contemporary of Breslov rabbi in Yerushalayim.
Though a major theme of this lesson is actually converts and how they come to convert, the same concepts and teachings which the Rebbe applies to the outsider who comes into the holiness of Judaism apply equally to the Baal Tshuva, the Jew who has fallen outside the realm of holiness and wishes to return. Reb Nachman himself makes the connection between the two.
Interesting.
As do all the major commentaries in the Likutei Moharan. Oh, that's what I was saying. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's elevating one's own soul.
Right. Okay, so just finish the paragraph. Let's go back to, and what is it that prompts? Let's go back up to the main
And
body.
what is it that prompts them to even think of converting? But no, this comes about through the aspect of, in Proverbs, wealth adds many friends. In other words, through the charity which one gives to a Torah scholar who encompasses a number of Jewish souls.
Okay, Rabbi Nachman just brought in a new idea out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Hello. What's going on? What'd you just do?
Right.
Rabbi Nachman just said that what enables a person to think of converting, he explains, has to do with wealth. Has to do with wealth and charity, which one gives to a Torah scholar.